Hi everyone, today we have with us Jia Sehgal. She's 16 years old and just recovered from COVID. So, how did you figure out that you had corona? Like, please share with us how the symptoms progress. Is it worse for the first few days and it gets better? Is it better for the first few days and it gets worse? How is it?
I started off with pain in my lower back, but we didn't think much of it as I just started working out after I had my exams. Then it progressed to fever and headache, and that's when I got tested and I isolated myself. And then I got a painful throat and cough. And then, so basically, in my case, it went from worse to better, but it progressed. Like, I got all the symptoms, and then they slowly started to get better.
But, I think, what was the worst day for you out of all the 14 days? What was the worst one for you?
There was no worst day, but it was like the first couple of days, like the first 5 days.
So, I hear that you lose your sense of taste and smell during COVID. So, what did you eat?
So not all people lose it, and I did, but or that was around the 7th or 8th day, and it's like really uncomfortable and it feels really weird, and like you feel normal, but then you get cravings like a normal day, like you normally would. But then when you eat that or when you eat something, it's like you're not satisfied because you could taste it.
I could never survive without my favorite food. So, it's really good that you can because I could never. So,
It's hard. It's really hard.
So, having tested COVID positive, has this impacted you more physically or mentally?
In my case, it's been neither because I've been really positive throughout it, and I haven't let it affect me.
So, I think that's really good. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hear that you feel very weak and fatigued after COVID. So, how did you manage to do so?
Okay, so I was extremely weak and fatigued, and I could not do school. So my mom informed school that I wasn't able to attend lessons, and for like the first week, I was sleeping for almost like 16 or 18 hours in the day, and I would just be woken up for to eat and to have my medication, and then I'd go back to sleep.
It must have been really hard.
Yeah.
But it's much better if you don't exert yourself in rest. So that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So whenever you're feeling low or unwell in these times, what coping mechanism or activity do you use to get through this? Do your friends support you, entertain you? Do you journal your thoughts, read, listen to music? What do you do?
So sleep was the greatest healer. Um, and yeah, my friends did. They kept calling me and checking on me, and sending me like inspirational quotes, and just making me feel positive about everything. And they were able to distract me and talk about other things apart from COVID.
So talking to my friends and listening to music always helps me. And if I ever have any concerns, I always ask my sisters.
Yeah.
So do you have any TV shows or movies that you want to recommend because you must be watching a lot in lockdown?
So a friend of mine put me onto Suits, and I've been really enjoying that. But that's about it.
So, on a lighter note, are there any advantages to being isolated?
Um, well, the initial few days, it was almost like a novelty because I didn't need to attend online school, and I was able to watch Netflix without anyone interrupting me. But then my mom also tested positive a few days later, so we were meeting each other. Unfortunately, I wasn't alone.
Were you scared for your family's welfare or your own welfare? Because obviously it's a very serious disease. So how do you deal with your emotions?
So basically, all of us, I'm sure, have been reading about so many scary things about COVID, and I was afraid. But my mom and I were very lucky to have really mild symptoms, and whenever I was anxious, I would speak to my mom. So,
Have you developed skills during lockdown, or do you intend on developing any skills?
so I've learned to take care of myself. I've learned to monitor my medication and wash my utensils, as well as clean up after myself. And I definitely feel like I've become more independent and self-sufficient. But I wasn't able to do anything constructive the first week because I was always asleep. So like that time I just focused on my well-being and healing.
But really amazing that you become more independent.
Sorry?
It's really amazing that you become more independent.
Yeah.
Lastly, what are some of the learnings that you would like to share with others who may be in a similar situation?
One thing I learned is gratitude. Um, a huge learning has been how we must take care of ourselves and our minds and our bodies.
So I completely agree, and thank you so much for taking our time and sharing your thoughts. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be inspired to stay calm and positive. So guys, please stay safe, stay indoors, and stay masked up.
To know more about Delhi and the NCR, like us on Facebook and click on See First for latest updates and happenings in Delhi and the NCR.